Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so I was going to try to sleep, but I got myself used to the schedule. So now it is what it is. Now I'm going to bed at nighttime, a decent time at nighttime, and waking up in the morning. What sucks is that I'm going to have to change the schedule again. This is only like a temporary thing, right? Because my schedule is based on my roommate's schedule. So eventually, I got to get accustomed to the next schedule. I cannot stand these rotating schedules, honestly. I don't understand how a business thinks that doing this is fair to its employees. This is why I have an issue with like a liberal mindset, right? Because this is an example. It's not as major as the way they do it in politics, but it is a liberal mindset, okay? Right? My roommate's company rotates their schedule, the employee's schedule. They rotate the schedule. They do this because they're trying to be fair to everyone, right? It's liberal. They're trying to be fair to everyone. But in actuality, by trying to be fair, it's unfair. Good morning, ZK. Thank you for joining my stream. Good morning, Levi. And good morning, James. How are you? So how is it that... Oh, hold on a second, guys. Oopsies. Oopsie doops. Oopsie doops. How is it? What is this? Oh, Lord, come on. Stop that freaking nonsense. Just cut it out. This thing is doing stuff. How's this? Good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning or good morning? So how is it that this mindset is liberal and why is it unfair? Right? When you take a person, you give them one set schedule. Their body's accustomed to that schedule. If you make them change their schedule, their body's no longer going to be accustomed to that schedule. It's really just that simple. It makes them more exhausted. You become extremely exhausted when you have a schedule change. I can't stand this. Having to change my schedule constantly. Well, I mean, I suppose if I just did it because it just occurs naturally, it wouldn't be bad. But when you're forced to do something, it's fucking terrible. What is this thing doing? So, anyway, my roommate's schedule rotates, and I rotate with my roommate's schedule so that I'm not inconsiderate with my streaming being loud and everything like that. Because everyone who's been consistent with my schedule knows I can be loud as hell here. James, thank you so much for the love. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you. Oh, thank you for your compliment as well. Thank you so much. But yeah, as I was saying, anyone who's been consistent with my schedule, like if you're one of my regulars who comes to see me on a regular basis, you know I can get pretty loud in here. And I'm not like shy about being honest or anything like that. I know that I can get really loud in here. Let's see. So, because I know I can get loud, like it depends on what we're talking about, but let's be honest here, right? Many of the topics we discuss on this stream are current events, right? Politics, spirituality. These are the things that I like to talk about here. Or, relationship things like, I don't know, just what you should do in a relationship, or what should you do if you're in a relationship and you're having like issues arguing with a partner, that kind of stuff. But we get into some emotional things here sometimes, so I can be really loud. Because I know this, I try my best to be considerate and work on my roommate's schedule. That way I don't have to be loud and keep my roommate awake. And so I rotate. Guys, this is a recycled jar, but this here, it's antioxidant smoothie. Remember I told you the other day that I made like a pre-batch. So I made like a huge amount and then put it in 3 separate jars. The reason why I'm going to have it now is because yesterday, before I went to work out, I had so much to do. Remember I told you guys I had Zoom court yesterday? It lasted a pretty while, right? I was on it for a while. So then afterwards I rushed to the gym and I didn't eat anything. Oh my God, yesterday I was in such agony. Oh my God, I'm loving this antioxidant smoothie. When I went to the gym yesterday, I was dying, guys. Good morning, Dee. How are you? I was absolutely tortured yesterday at the gym. When I say tortured, like, normally I love to work out. As I'm pushing the weight, I'm just like, psychologically, I'm pushing myself. I'm saying, you can do it. Push yourself, push yourself. And I'm enjoying the weight. I don't care about how much it feels like suffering. I really enjoy it. But yesterday it was pure agony. Like, it wasn't the kind of agony I like. Because when I work out, I love the agony of working out. Killer, get to that bed. Just get to the bed. I don't want you going over there trying to take a pee-pee. I have both my dogs in here today. Both Amadeus and Killer. And everyone who's been here before knows that Killer's my little Yorkie. But my little Yorkie, the reason why I keep him outside mostly is because he pees in the house. So I went out and I spent like, I don't know, something close to like $200 on diapers for him. Reusable diapers. So now I have him in his reusable diapers so he can be in the house. So I don't think he grasps the concept that he's wearing a diaper. So he still tries to pee everywhere even though he's wearing the diaper. And I was hoping that putting him in the diaper would discourage him from trying to pee because he wouldn't like that wet feeling, you know? But the dog doesn't get it. He's an old dog. No, I wouldn't say old, but when I got him, I think he was already 5 years old. And so, you know, old doggies have habits. They come with habits already when you adopt them. And it's very hard to break. And he's very stubborn, very set in his ways. And honestly, I never came across a dog that just doesn't break a habit. I've had dogs before him. This is the hardest, like, habit. Well, the hardest, I won't say the hardest dog, but it's been the most difficult process with him compared to any other dog that I've ever had, trying to break his habits. But then again, Amadeus is only like 2, and Amadeus has a bad habit of breaking into the patio. So I guess once a dog puts something in his mind, it's hard to break point blank. It's kind of like reverse engineering their mind. That's what you're basically doing with a dog. When you're trying to train them to do something you want them to do, and they just don't stop doing the nonsense. You're reverse engineering their mind. That's pretty much what you're doing. Because I'm telling you now, guys, this freaking dog, both of them, Amadeus likes to break into the patio. The reason why I don't want him in that patio, besides the fact that he escapes into the neighborhood, besides that fact, is that I put all my plants and my worms there. And I don't want him to kill them anymore. Now, he's been pretty decent with it now, not killing the plants. Like, he understands how much it makes me feel. You know, animals are in touch with human emotions, right? They know when you're feeling angry and sad and things like that and frustrated. So he understands not to mess with the plants anymore, but he still breaks into the patio to escape as well. Hold on one second. Hello, Peanut. Peanut says, "Hey, I was just asking because I'm in a bit of a bad situation. My girlfriend's mom is having a falling out with her husband. With her husband. Recently, I've been staying at her house, and when my girlfriend is at work, her mom is drunk and tries to seduce me." Peanut, how old are you? Sorry, guys, I can't really see the screen too well, and I would set it up on my TV, but that's gonna be a process. How old are you, Peanut? 17. Do you have to live there? So, good morning, Kuntakinte. All right, I'm going to tell you this, Peanut, in your situation. God, that's terrible. Listen, human beings are human beings, okay? We're going to do immoral things if we don't have control of our emotions. It's just a human nature. What she's doing is wrong. This is 100% true. But if she's having so much trouble with her husband, she's just acting on her raw emotions, right? The woman needs something to make her feel fulfilled. You're young, you're probably attractive to her, so she's going to be pursuing you because she's so consumed by her emotions that she's not understanding or having self-control over her own actions, right? She's not really understanding the emotions she's feeling. If I were you, I just would get myself out of that situation. Just simply don't be at the house. Don't go there. See your girlfriend, but don't see your girlfriend at her house. So I understand what you're saying. Let me ask you something. Are you going to stay there permanently? You plan to stay there permanently? At the age of 17, I don't think that's a good idea. I really don't think that's a good idea at the age of 17. You guys are very young, and at this age, a relationship won't last forever. It might last for a couple of years, but it's not going to last forever. Okay, I take that back. It's not impossible, but it's not likely. Because when you're with someone that young, as you're growing and changing mentally, you may grow apart. You're still very young. You're not mature enough to be in a long-term committed relationship. It might be long-term, but for the short term, if that makes any sense. It's not going to be forever. The likelihood of it lasting forever is very slim. The both of you are eventually going to grow apart. That's what happens in relationships when you're this young. You grow apart. But given your situation, it's doomed for disaster. If you have your mother-in-law coming on to you, no, you have to get yourself out of that situation. No, just for 1 month. That's when my family gets the new house. Well, okay. I'm gonna tell you this. Stand up to her. Let me ask you this question. Are you enjoying this woman making these passes at you? That's what I need to know. And then I can tell you what to do. We'll give you advice on what you should do after, once I know this information. Guys, this antioxidant smoothie is tasting the best. Hello, Puda. How are you? I'm telling you, this morning when I woke up, I was like, I'm going back to bed. I laid in bed for like 20 more minutes and I'm like, nah, I'm not going back to bed. Let me just get up and stream. Oh my goodness, James, thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you so much. Thank you, James. I'm doing fine. I mean, I think I wanted to sleep a little bit more, but I'm not tired really. Plus, also, I'm having my antioxidant smoothie. So I'm going to be fine. After having this, after drinking this, I'm going to be up for a while. Let's see. Peanut Butter says, no, it feels really uncomfortable after it. And when I see her, I just think of what she's made me do to her. Wait a minute. Hold on one second, Peanut Butter. Hi, New Life. Peanut Butter, you're saying that you have done things with this woman? Oh my. That kind of changes the situation. You want to be a bouncer, New Life? New Life, I'll make you a bouncer, but we have to discuss the rules and regulation of being a bouncer. All right, Peanut Butter, listen here. Guys, Peanut Butter is in a very tough situation. You're telling, basically you're saying that you've done things with this woman because she kind of forced you to do things with her. Oh my God. And you know that's, well, I don't know what state you're in, but that's illegal. Because in some, depending on the state that you're in, you're considered a minor still. It's really disgusting these days that they've made like the minor age even younger. In some states it's 15, which I think is absolutely fucking repulsive. But yeah, because she's drunk and I'm young and don't know what to do. I understand that, Peanut Butter. Like, I understand. Believe me, when you're young, the woman's wrong. Okay, she's taking advantage of you. Anybody young in that situation is not going to, well, no, some people might say, hey, get the fuck off of me, you know? But some people don't. And it's not because you want it. It's because exactly what you said. You're young and you don't understand what to do. People don't understand that. They'll sit down and they'll judge you and they'll say, oh, you did it because you wanted it. And no, that's ridiculous. I understand that you did it because you're young and you don't understand what to do in that situation. Or not that you don't understand. You're just, you know, you don't have the willpower to react in a way that, well, you know, is more defensive. So do you mind telling me what state you're in? Because according to James, in Georgia, it's illegal what she's doing to you. Yes, Pooh, I am. Anytime anyone asks me for advice, I definitely give it to them. Why not? You know, why not help somebody out if they're having a really tough situation? If you can make somebody's life better, then you should. If you have the ability to make a person's life better, you absolutely should. And I mean, but what harm does it do to you if you help someone, you know? New Life, the question is, oh no, I'll make you a bouncer, but we have to discuss the terms of being a bouncer. Peanut Butter says he lives in Texas, so it's 17. Good morning, Zaz. Thank you for joining my stream. Peanut Butter, are you saying 17 is a legal age, or are you saying 17 is an illegal age? Is it legal for an adult to have consensual sex with you? Is it legal for her to do that? Or anyone to have consensual sex with you at the age of 17 in Texas? Because James says in Georgia it's illegal, and that's where we are. Guys, these antioxidant smoothies, they've been doing it for me. I wish I had it yesterday when I went to the gym. I was such a little pendeja. Let me tell you something. I love to work out, but yesterday I was suffering so much. Huda says, I hear that, sweetie. I'm glad people who think like you in this crazy ass world. Aw, thank you, Huda. Zaz says it's illegal. Well, okay. Listen here. I know what this woman is doing is absolutely repulsively disgusting, right? But this is your girlfriend's mother. Do you honestly want to see her go to prison even though what she's doing is illegal. What I suggest you do, if you feel like you can't stand up to her, di- have you considered telling your girlfriend what she's doing? I'm gonna tell you how I think I would handle that situation. Okay, I think what I would do is I would somehow record her and then kind of use it to blackmail her to say, "Hey, you better stop, or I'll reveal this." But somehow you gotta find the strength to tell this woman, "Don't touch me. Like, this is inappropriate. I'm your, I am your daughter's boyfriend, and you don't do those things." If you can't build the strength to do it, maybe like get a friend involved to help you do it, or speak to your girlfriend and let your girlfriend know what her mom is doing to you. And I know that's easier said than done, but the only way that you can do it is by facing her, because otherwise you're going to be hiding in the shadows. You're not going to be comfortable for a whole entire month that you're there. That's not fair. James, Peanut's mother-in-law, Peanut's 17, and he's staying at his girlfriend's house. And his mother-in-law, the girlfriend's mother, has been coming on to him, trying to force him to do sexual things. You guys got to keep up when I read this stuff. I'm reading it out loud. So Peanut's mother-in-law is trying to force him to do sexual things, and he's feeling uncomfortable, and he doesn't know how he should handle the situation. Peanut says, "No, I don't. I just want to tell my girlfriend because she might take it the wrong way and break up with me." No, Peanut, I don't think so. Teenagers don't do that. Teenagers don't break up with their boyfriends because something like that happens. What's going to happen is she's going to be fucking pissed with her mother. She's going to be furious with her mother when she finds out what her mother's doing to you. Again, I'm not sure if 17 is legal in Texas, but it's morally wrong. But also, like I said, the mother's a human being. The mother's having issues with her husband. She's acting out. People just do this. Like, they do these inconsiderate, inappropriate things when they don't have control of their emotions. They allow their emotions to overcome them and make poor decisions. It's just part of human nature. And I'm not justifying her actions because she's wrong. Okay, what she's doing is wrong, and she needs help. When a person does things like this, psychologically, they need an evaluation and they need to get some kind of therapy, because people don't do things like this if they're mentally sound. Okay, they only do things like this when they have emotional issues. Not to justify her actions, because her actions are still negative. But keeping that in mind, I'm not saying call the police on her, but you can. You can call the police and report this woman for what she's doing to you. What I do suggest is you do speak to your girlfriend about it, because otherwise the situation's not going to stop. Good morning, Nihanto. How are you? James says he believes that she's doing it to make her daughter upset. It could be that. Or it could just be that the woman is having issues with her husband and she just needs a thrill in life. Peanut says, "Thank you so much. Next time she does it to me, I'll tell her no. And if it continues, I just have to leave the house." Peanut, not only do you say no, say that shit assertive. You let her know. You say, "Listen, I'm your daughter's boyfriend, and I don't want you doing this to me. I don't want you touching my body inappropriately." You don't have to give her anything she wants just because you're staying in her house, okay? For her to do that, she's taking advantage of you. And it's going to happen again. She's already tried it. She's gotten away with it. People who do these things, Peanut, they continue again and again and again. Mihanto, thank you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. So again, people who do these kind of things will continue to do it because they've gotten away with it. And so what happens is they push the boundaries further and further every single time. Okay? This woman's not thinking about how she's affecting you psychologically. She doesn't care. The only thing she cares about is her own emotions. And she's wrong. I'm sorry. Like, I understand that she's going through some emotional battle between her and her husband, but she has to be a responsible adult. And responsible adults make better decisions than that. So I know it's going to be a scary moment for you, but stand up to her. Besides, you're 17 years old. You're strong, okay? Believe me when I tell you that a 17-year-old boy can take on a woman. You can take on a woman. It doesn't matter how old she is. You can take her on, okay? You're 17 and you're strong. At the age of 17, you've got muscles going on and you've got strength and testosterone and stuff that's going to definitely outweigh whatever strength she has. So, again, what I suggest you do when you confront this woman, as a matter of fact, going forward, every time you're in that house, take your phone and hit record with the recorder. Set your phone to do not disturb and set your recorder to block phone calls. That way, you're constantly recording so that you can catch her in the act. This way, because what it comes down to in these situations, it'll come down to your word against hers. So you gotta be one step ahead of her. Make sure you're recording her. That way, if God forbid, this woman tries to say it was you who came onto her, you have the proof. Okay? So have your recorder recording. Go get if you have to, spend extra money. Go get yourself like a bigger SD card if your phone can handle it. And which I'm pretty sure you do, because every teenager seems to have all these technologies, right? If your phone can handle like a 512 gig SD card, pop that shit into your phone. Have your phone recording 24/7 when you're in that house. Then if you don't need anything, delete it to save the memory. But record especially when you're around her, make sure it's recording so that when she comes on to you again, you have the voice, at least the voice of you saying to her, hey, I don't want you to do this. It's inappropriate. I'm with your daughter. Anything along that lines. But you make sure it's clear on that tape that you're telling her no. Okay? You don't have to let her know you have it, but you have to put her in her place. And if she tries to say, hey, it was you who came on to her, if she tries to play that game, then you present the evidence. And after you get that evidence on her, make sure you email it to like 5 different email addresses. Make sure you send it to your WhatsApp. Make sure you text your best friend. Like, make sure you have that evidence out there. Just in case she tries to play you and say, oh no, it was him who did it to me. You have slept with her 2 times and I hated it. Peanut Ball says, I have slept with her 2 times and I hated it. Next time if she comes on me again, I might have to use force. All right. Yeah, if you have to use force, you use it. But keep in mind what I just told you, okay? Because take it from a person who's been in situations where people made sexual advances that were unwanted. All right? It's always your word against theirs. Now, what she's doing is illegal. And here's the thing about America, right? They pass these laws, but then the burden of proof is on you. Because anyone here is innocent until proven guilty. So the burden of proof is on you, even though you're the victim. Make sure you have that phone recording 24/7 so you catch this woman in the act. You got to catch her. That's the only way. You've got to catch her. So use force, but make sure that phone is recording. Because if you use force, she might play the victim card. This woman might sit back and be like, oh my God, my daughter's boyfriend assaulted me and I want him out and I want him in jail. And she might put the tears. Oh my God, he assaulted me. So make sure you have your back covered. Okay? If you can do video on her, like have a hidden camera or something, get that done too. We have so much technology that can help us in these situations. Hold on, we have a joiner. Hi, New Life. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to do the date box. Let's see, Peanut Ball. I think we have some people who want to join.
Oh, hey, wait. What are you talking about? You talking about women women being deceptive to men?
No, this is a boy. He's 17. Oh wait, you like that feedback? No bueno. Lower the volume. That way we don't get that feedback. All right, so Peanut Bout's mother-in-law. Peanut Bout's 17. He lives in Texas with his girlfriend and his mother-in-law and father-in-law. The mother-in-law is having marital issues with her husband. And she's been coming on to Peanut Bout. And Peanut Bout has confessed that 2 times she seduced him and kind of forced him into sex. He gave in consensually, but it wasn't really consensual. You know, he gave in. It was more out of not knowing what to do in that situation. He didn't want to do it, but he did concede to her being sexual with him because he was afraid to say no. Which to me, that's still... See, this is why they shouldn't allow adults to have sex with teenagers. I don't think this is something that should be allowed because teenagers don't just go around having fucking crazy ass sex like this just because they want to, right? So she made him feel uncomfortable and he gave in to her whims, right? But let me hit the day button. But he's saying to me that he doesn't want to do these things with her and he doesn't know how to handle the situation because his fear is that the girlfriend may break up with him. He doesn't want the girlfriend to break up with him. That's what he's afraid of. So I'm basically explaining to him that if he wants this to stop, he does have to stand up for himself. And that even though I know it's difficult for him to do that, right? And I'm doing this based on my own experiences because I've been in similar experiences when I was his age. You know, I know it's hard to do because you're afraid, right? But I'm explaining to him that he does have to stand up for himself in the situation, but to cover himself. To make sure that if he can, have her recorded somehow, video recorded. But if he can't do a video recording, voice record her. So that he can get it on recording. Hey, I said no. Oh, thank you, Lateral. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your love.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta set up like she's trying to set you up.
Well, I don't think she's trying to set him up. She's just taking advantage of him. Thank you, James. Mihanto, this conversation is on my Twitch channel. That's where this conversation is. So if you guys want to see it, you got to go to my Twitch.
She manipulating him. She ain't taking advantage. She manipulating him.
Oh, it's Latrell. I'm sorry. Yes, well, okay. Listen here. I'm not justifying her actions, guys. I'm really not justifying her actions. And again, Mihanto, this is on Twitch if you want to see this chat. If you guys want to see the chat that's happening now that I'm reading to you, it's on Twitch. She is manipulating him. Yes, this is true. And I don't know the whole situation. So I don't know if she intentionally is doing it and understands what she's doing. Or if it's a situation that she's acting on impulse based on what's going on in her life. Because sometimes people do irrational things. Sometimes they do things that they wouldn't normally do if they're feeling so much emotions that they can't handle. So I'm not justifying her actions. But it's a possibility that she's doing what she's doing based on the fact that she can't control her own emotions at the time. And by emotions, I don't mean lust. By emotions, I mean that she's feeling so insane right now because her husband and her are having so many issues that she's literally lashing out. It is a possibility. But it could also be that the woman's a fucking disgusting pig. That in fact that she knows entirely what she's doing and she doesn't care and she's just being lustful. So that could be a possibility as well. Despite the fact she shouldn't be doing it.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, I mean, we don't know all the details, so it could be one or the other, or it could be another reason. It doesn't matter what the reason behind it is necessarily. I think it matters when it comes to legally punishing her for it. Because if it is so that she snapped or whatever, then no, there should be
or it could be a love triangle. Mm-mm. And they don't want to do it no more. Anything is possible.
Well, he definitely confesses to not wanting to do this anymore. So, you know, this is the reason why I gave him the suggestion that he needs to catch her in the act by video recording her and definitely voice recording her. But if he can, hiding some camera somewhere and catching her in the act.
Yeah, all I have to do is put his phone under the pillow or something.
No, not under the pillow, in your pocket. Hold on, you like. He says, Peanut Butter says, yeah, I have recorded her trying to unzip my pants. Peanut Butter, when you say you recorded her, do you mean like video recording her? Because if you already have evidence, then you have everything you need already. If you recorded this woman already, then you're good. Guys, listen here. Let's not forget when we were teenagers, okay? Let's not forget the things that we experienced when we were teenagers. It's not easy being a teenager, all right? Adults have... People might argue it's natural, but I think it's unnatural for an adult to want to be with a teenager. Hear me out on this one, okay? The only reason why an adult would want a teenager is if they're not mentally sound themselves. You only want to be with a teenager if you have some kind of insecurity issue, right? People who are adults choose teenagers as their prey, and I call it prey, because they feel that they can manipulate them. They feel that they can control them. They feel that it's someone they can mold. They don't do it because they see them as equals. Definitely not. It's not like you see a teenager and you fall in love with this person because you think they have a beautiful personality and it's just a coincidence that they're a teenager. People choose teenagers for a reason. Hi, Nihanto. Good morning. Ooh, good morning.
Good morning. It could be a bunch of issues.
Yeah, it could be. But it doesn't justify her actions.
Oh, no, I don't want to justify the action.
Yeah.
I agree with you on the whole, that having evidence to support his claims that it's been happening, that way he can at least continue the relationship with the one that he wants. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, Peanut Bomb said that he has a recording. Okay, so he says he has a voice recording, but it's not very clear. Oh man. So Peanut Bomb, the next time, what you have to do, okay, there's many ways you can go about this, Peanut Bomb. All right, you literally can go to Amazon and you can get yourself a little spy camera that records, that you stick, like it's like a pen that you stick in your pocket that records everything. Like there's so many ways you could go about this. As a matter of fact, for my daughter, I bought my daughter one of those things. It was a spy pen. You put an SD card in the pen so it has memory. And I told her, keep this with you. I literally, I kid you not, listen, because of my experience, I wanted to prepare her for life. Because at the end of the day, I understand that teenagers are going to go through sexual harassment from adults. It's going to happen. I experienced it many times as a teenager. So go onto Amazon, get yourself a little $20 pen, a $20 spy pen, because they're not that expensive. They come from China. They're very cheap. Get yourself a little $20 pen and
sanitize the fuck.
Yeah, and record her. Record her.
Yeah.
This poor, I feel bad for this poor baby. I really do. To be in that situation, it fucking sucks. And shame on you. Shame on you, mother-in-law, for doing this to your son-in-law. Shame on you. Because that's your daughter's boyfriend, and you shouldn't be crossing those boundaries. You should be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed of yourself. There's so much piece of meat in the world. You're gonna go for your daughter's boyfriend? You should be ashamed of yourself, you disgusting woman. Disgusting.
Has the daughter ever had another boyfriend come live with them?
Let me ask him. Peanut Butter, has your girlfriend ever had another boyfriend live there before? I'll wait for him to respond. These streams, they have delays, so you gotta give it a moment.
Yeah, no problem.
That poor baby.
That's a crazy conversation to come in on, though. Like, whoa, what's really going on?
Well, you know how I do it with my podcast, Nihanto. Like, everyone's allowed to just say whatever, and then that's where the conversation goes. Yeah, you're just allowed to... We just talk about whatever. Listen, the reason why I like to do it this way is because anytime I try to have a specific topic, we might stick to that topic for a little bit, but it never lasts. We always end up venturing off onto whatever we want to say anyway. So we just say what we want to say. I'm not sure if he's still here. Peanut Butter, are you still here or did you leave us? He may have left. But remember, he's 17, so he's probably getting ready to go to school.
Could be.
He responded. He says it was very normal until their marriage problems. Wait, so what was the question I just asked him? Wait, I just asked, oh, the question is peanut about. The question is, has your girlfriend ever allowed another boyfriend to live in her family's house? Was there a boyfriend there before you? Anyone that she dated before you who's lived there? Guys, I picked this up from Kroger's. Oh my god, I just love it.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I took down the chat to look at that.
Yes, this is called Evolve. No, this is Evolution. Evolution Fresh. So it's supposed to be cold pressed fruit and vegetable juice smoothie. I'm assuming it is, but this is the closest I get to where I am to having anything that's fresh pressed. So this is why I drink it. I like to actually have the juice actually fresh pressed, but there's no juicery around here that I know of anyway. That's close by. Everything, we live in Georgia, so you know how it is. Everything's like 45 minutes away, and I don't want to drive 45 minutes for a juice. She said she hasn't, that he's her first boyfriend. Oh wow, this mother's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Like, I understand she could be going through emotional things, but she's a piece of shit for doing this. Even like I get it. Oh, I'm sorry, Nihanto. Go ahead. You agree with me, James? I'm sorry you have to go through this clean about. I'm really sorry you have to experience this. I really am. I'm so sorry for you. Go ahead, Nihanto. I'm sorry.
Her mom, her daughter might even know. Like, you never know. Sometimes mothers and daughters are
in cahoots,
tricky and in cahoots.
Yeah, it could possibly be. So, all right, Peanut about. We can go about this 2 ways. All right, you can wait to get the evidence first, or you can try to talk to your girlfriend, see if she believes you, and then try to get the evidence. I would suggest trying to get the evidence first. Not to say to seduce her. Like, don't put yourself in that situation. What happened, Nihanto?
Does he have anywhere else to go?
Well, what he explained is that his family, they're buying a new house, so he's staying there temporarily until they buy a new house, so he's going to be there for a month. That's what he explained, that this is a temporary situation. It's a terrible situation. She's horrible.
Yeah, it's definitely not best case scenario.
I mean, she should be ashamed of herself. Like, listen, I get it. I get that sometimes a person could be so emotionally unbalanced that they make these terrible decisions. I, as a teenager, dated older men, okay? And when I was a teenager, I did not realize why it was wrong. I, myself, was not okay mentally. I was dealing with my own emotional issues. People only do this when they're emotionally unbalanced, okay? Unless you come from a country where that's the norm. In America, that's not the norm. So people who do that in America do it because they're emotionally unbalanced. It could be that they're sex addicts. It could be that they have an insecurity. It could be that they snapped one day. Like, it could be a lot of things. But despite the fact of whatever the reasoning is, the outcome is still the same. Something that's wrong.
Yeah.
This poor kid. I really do feel bad for this poor kid.
She's already banged her, so coming clean about it could be very bad for him too, because he might lose her.
Well, that's what he said he was worried about. I personally don't think he's going to lose his girlfriend out of this. But this is why I really suggest he gets the evidence first. Get the evidence first. Don't intentionally put yourself in a situation to get that evidence. She's going to come to you eventually. She already did it. She's going to try again and again and again. Get the evidence first, and then let your girlfriend know that it's going on, because you can present the evidence. But don't put this woman in jail. I know this is so terrible, but don't put her in jail for it. Just walk away from that situation.
He enjoyed the sex one way or another.
Emotionally, he says he didn't. He says that he feels absolutely guilty. Well, the thing about that is, like, this. Okay, when I was a teenager and I had sexual relations, right? I did it, but emotionally I didn't want to do it. Yeah, I gave them the consent, but I didn't want to do what I was doing. I was with the same boyfriend for 10 years. I started dating him when I was 15 and he was 21 years old. You think I really wanted to just be having sex? Like, people be thinking that these teenagers just want to bang. They really don't. Like, teenagers are still kids. We have to remember that. People think that teenagers are adults. They're not adults, okay? Adults aren't freaking adults. Adults are like 25 and still not are adults, okay? So Americans need to stop getting in their head that these children are adults. They're not adults. At 17, you're not an adult. At 18, you're also not an adult. Because adulthood comes here. It's here mentally. And at 18, you're not an adult. At 17, you're not an adult. They have to stop saying that these kids are adults. They're not adults. So when they're in these situations and they sit down and they say, well, they gave sexual consent, just because they said yes doesn't mean that they actually gave consent. It's inside. Did they really want to do it? Because that should matter. That's why an adult should not be having sex with a teenager. Go on, Nihanto. I'm sorry.
I was I was fairly adult-like when I was 16 because I moved out and had a job.
Yes, there are individual cases. I agree. Hi. Did you hear the things that we were discussing? Are you just coming in? Like, do you know what we're talking about here today? You speak English?
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
You don't speak English?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have issues there because I don't speak any other language other than English. Sorry, I don't usually do this, but... Next person. Nihanto, come back. James says, I know some people that is 17, 18 years old that are gang members and they go bang. Good morning, King. Nihanto, you know that guy was here just trying to jerk off. Let me reset the chat box, guys. I think he damaged it. They be coming on here with no shirt on. Hello, cover your body, okay? Nobody wants to be seeing that. They be showing their whole body up in there. You know he was trying to come over here to jerk off. It's always the people from the other countries that come here to do this nonsense. Go ahead, Nihanto. Finish your sentence before you got cut off.
Well, I was just going to be funny for a second and say, I don't know. I don't have a shirt on and I'm laying in bed.
Nihanto, I know you're not being a perv over here. He was being a perv. You know he was being a perv. You know he came on this stream because he thought, oh, she's pretty and I'm going to whack my wiener. You know that's what they do. All of these people from the other countries come here and do the same thing. It's the same thing.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know that.
Oh,
I would hope better for the weird people.
No, they're coming here every single time. The randoms always coming here trying to get their nuts off every single time. And it's like, bro, not on my stream. And you know what gets me about that? It's like, Scout is very strict about these rules, so I don't understand what they don't get about it. And it's like, if you really want to do that, they've got like tons of live cams where women are like in thongs and everything. Go to one of those chats. Why are you coming to Scout for that? They come to Scout because they're pervs.
Because they're cops. It's not just because they're pervs. It's also because they're fucking cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. You hit it on them. They're cheap. They don't want to spend money.
Yeah, he's the guy that goes to the strip bar and buys the two drink minimum and sits there without finishing his second drink for 72 hours. Just here, check out. Paid nothing. Paid my entrance fee. I'm about my 2 drinks.
Facts. That pisses me off. Like, when I'm in a good mood, I just blow it off and say next. When I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm feeling salty for whatever reason, if I'm not having it that day, I be telling them off. Because it's like, bro, if you want to come in here being a cheap bastard, one, you could catch your ass out of here. But second, do not assume that if you're trying to do some nasty shit like that, you're not gonna pay me for it. Okay, the same way you gotta pay a stripper is the same way you're gonna fucking pay me. Because you're not coming into my stream to whack off your fucking dick. It's not gonna happen.
Well, maybe you should get paid more because you're not a stripper.
That's right. That's right. If you think you're gonna come into this stream and whack off your wiener, no.
You got bouncers in here tonight?
New Life says he wants to be a bouncer, but we have to discuss the rules of a bouncer. I don't want any bouncers that's just gonna bounce everybody out. You only bounce people out when they're jerking off their penises. That's definitely a bounce out. Or if they're saying things like you a hoe or this and that. Anyone who says, "Oh, I'll kill you," like that kind of stuff, because I get that a lot on here. Actually, I'm making a video for that.
I've been made a bouncer in like 3 or 4 other streams now, which is hilarious.
I'll make you a bouncer, Nihanto, but you gotta promise to always come to be with me.
I will, as long as I'm available to do so. You be getting some random ass time, Miss Lady.
Yes, because it's revolved around my roommate's schedule. He has a rotating schedule. So right now his schedule is 5 in the morning to 1 p.m. So I'll stream this time, and then his schedule changes again. Next week I think it's gonna be like 5 to 9, and then the following week is gonna be like 9 to 5 a.m. So that's the reason why you guys see me all kind of random times. Because when I'm streaming in the office,
so he's got
he has a rotating schedule.
Like a rotating schedule.
Mm-hmm. So the office is right in the middle of the bedrooms. Okay. So, and you guys look how loud I am now. I'm loud. I'm a New Yorker. I'm loud. I'm a New Yorker who's a Boricua from the Bronx. We're loud. I can never be on stream just with a calm, cool, collective voice. Like, that's just not me. I'm loud. So I used to stream 24-hour streams. But then one day he was in a bitch mood, okay, because he was tired. And he's like, yo, you need to shut the fuck up. And I don't like being talking to like that. So I was just like, we can't be having this. So he and I had a discussion about it. And then I said, all right, I'll stream when you're working. Even though he says he was sorry and that I could stream whenever I want to. Nah. Because we can't be having any episodes where, because you're fucking cranky, we got to get into an argument about it. So basically,
one thing you can do to help insulate the sound in the office is hang up some, what do you call it? Carpet pad underneath the carpet stuff. Staple it to the wall.
Yeah, but wouldn't that wouldn't doing something like that promote rodents? Good morning, everyone. Good morning for everyone who's joining the stream. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
No, it is not going to promote rodents. You're just going to be putting a sound barrier on the wall, and then you also won't have the same echo in the room either, if there is any.
I know what you're saying, because that's what they do at music studios. Music studios are soundproof because they have all that padding. But I'm saying when you put something against the wall surface, you're now giving like the space for rodents, like roaches or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'll look into it. I'll look into it.
It won't work that way as long as the place don't have roaches already.
Yeah, no, we don't have that problem here. But remember, this is Georgia, okay? We have a backyard that's huge, a front yard, a side yard, like we're on land. That's the house is on land. We're surrounded by land.
You're no longer in New York where you got to worry about the people below you, above you, next door to you, all the way around like a cube.
That's true.
Roaches and rodents and cats and cat piss and shit, and disgustingness.
Yeah.
Humans are gross.
Oh my god, I totally agree with that 100%. I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with that. But there's roaches in the grass all the time. Like, I've seen those motherfuckers in the grass, and they do try to get in the house.
That's where they live.
I know, but they try to get in the house. They do try. I be catching them, and I don't be playing games when it comes to insects, okay? I believe that everything has the right to live, but if you're a pestilence, you're getting the fuck out of this house. So, I don't like...
You're in the South.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. Just don't come in my house. Like, if it's a grasshopper or something, I'll catch it and I release. If it's a spider, I catch it and I release. Anything that's beneficial for the environment, I catch and release. Things that I would not catch and release. Go on, Mihato, I'm sorry.
Something that's mistakenly come from outside.
Yeah, I catch and release. But it depends on what it is, though. All the spiders, I catch them and I release them. Good morning, doctor. I catch the spiders and I release them. I catch the grasshoppers, I release them. The ants, when they come in, I let them. Listen, ants are very beneficial. Nobody kill ants, please. They're so beneficial. And if you keep your house clean, they won't come in. But don't kill them if they're in your house. Just let them go take what they're going to take and go back out because they don't bother you. Ants are great. So I don't ever mess with them. But if I see a roach coming through that door, that thing's getting stomped out. It's going to die. Okay? If I see... Do I have a what?
Mantis.
A mattress?
In the yard. Mantis. Mantis.
I don't know what that is. What's a mantis? And what does that do?
The one that's got the arms like this.
Oh, a praying mantis? I've never seen one of them. Yeah, I've never seen one of them.
We've had them in the yard here every so often.
Yeah, but those are beneficial. So those are catch and release. Anything's catch and release, so long as catch and release. If it's a ladybug, catch and release. If it's any kind of roach, it's dead. If it's a wasp, it's dead. Anything that can attack you is going to get dead. And anything that's a rodent is going to get dead. The reason why, listen, and I believe that every creature has the right to live. Don't misunderstand me. Every creature has the right to live. I believe that. But if it's a pestilence, it's going to get dead. Because things like roaches, right, even though they can clearly survive outside in the wilderness, will still try to come into your house. They still try. You can have a clean house. It's not an issue of being clean. It's an issue of them being explorers, because that's how they are. Roaches like to explore and find comfortable places to live. They don't want to be outside because outside is uncomfortable. Outside they have to worry about the birds eating them. So they understand, these insects are intelligent. They understand that if they live with human beings, they have a higher probability of survival. So they intentionally come into your home to try to survive. They'll come and they'll scout your home, and then they'll lay an egg somewhere. What happened?
Other birds go build nests under owl nests to keep all the other, the hawks and the eagles and shit away, because the hawks and eagles and the predatory birds do not come around the owls, because they will get their asses handed to them.
Yeah, animals know how to adapt to human beings. Yeah, there's plenty of animals that want to live with human beings. Raccoons, plenty of animals. They become pestilence. James, most spiders are harmless, which is why it's catch and release. If you see a spider, just catch and release it. Most of them are totally harmless. Besides, if you're catching it like in a bowl or something, how is it going to bite you if it's inside the bowl? Don't kill a spider. Catch and release. Doctor says just like dirty women always trying to get in your home. Just trying to get in your home. Shut up, doctor. Oh my God, you're so terrible. Men could be the same way, doctor. Men could be the same way. Men could be dirty and try to find a woman because they're like, oh my God, I have to survive. And they can only survive by relying on women. There's so many men like that in this world. Nihanto, just jump in the box because that's just the way it goes. If they want to, they'll put themselves in the queue. Remember, most people don't like to participate. Most people just like to be entertained by it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Most people don't like participating. They just like to watch what's going on. The
voyeurs.
The what?
They're voyeurs.
I still don't understand what you said. My dogs are both snoring. Oh, voyeurs. Okay.
I think they're French.
Oh, let me see if
yeah.
I didn't understand the word you were saying. Like, I understand the word, but I couldn't hear you clearly. You hear what Doctor said? He's such a... Doctor's so terrible. Doctor said, just like dirty women always trying to get into your home. He's so terrible. Men could be equally dirty, you know. He said they're peeping Tom. Doctor, we had
Yes.
some Spanish dude who came in the box who obviously was about to jerk off, so I immediately hit the next button. I wasn't even going to entertain that today. That stupid jerk trying to be nasty. Peanut Box says, I don't think that my girlfriend is in it with her mom because I've only slept with my girlfriend one time.
So he's banged the mom more than he's banged his girl.
He said the mother like had sex with him 2 times. Peanut Butter, were you a virgin when you had sex with your girlfriend's mother? Were you a virgin? Oh my god, that would be so terrible if the answer is yes.
Yeah, I agree. That would be bad.
That poor thing. God, like, I don't want to be judgmental in this situation. It's hard not to be judgmental. But at the end of the day, the law is the law, you know? If it's illegal, it's illegal. And it doesn't matter why you did it, it's still illegal. It could be what?
She could be hot too.
The mother?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. if the boyfriend does it out of lust, then he's equally wrong. But if he does it because he's too afraid to say no, then he's the victim. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When a man is afraid, the blood stays in the brain.
That's not true. That's not true.
Hell yeah, it is. I can't think of literally one time where I was completely erect and I was like, oh my god, I am completely afraid.
I don't know. Like, this is a teenager. If you're a teenager and somebody's like touching your penis, come on. No matter how scared you are, it's still gonna be hard. You're a teenager.
Is it that way with girls?
No.
Even though you don't want it, you're just like, oh my god, I'm still turned on.
No.
I'm sure it's the same way with guys too. Because I had guys hit on me when I was young, and even now, and I'm like, it's not working. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, look, dude, I like the ladies. A man can't have it taken and be forced into something like that. They can be coerced. They can be, bribed and shit like that. But they still have to have, the blood leave from here and travel to the other area. And it's just like,
I don't know. I think it depends on the guy. I think some guys like absolutely could not get a hard on, but I think other guys might still be scared shitless and still get a hard on. Let's see. James says the tree gets.
I don't know.
It is. Wait, what? It is tree that gets women gets turned on. It is true. Oh, is it true that women gets turned on? Is that what you mean? Chewy, thanks for the love. Thank you, Chewy. Thank you, Chewy. Is it the truth that women get turned on? Turned on by what, though? What are you asking exactly? Is it true that women get turned on? Turned on by what? Turned on by what?
Yeah, if you want an answer to a question, formulate the entire question.
Nihanto said a lot of stuff.
Oh,
What are you referring to specifically?
Probably
Nihanto said a lot of
turn
stuff.
on if you don't. Well, he's probably wondering about the getting turned on even though you don't want it.
No.
Like from somebody you don't want it with.
Women don't. No.
You know.
You won't. You won't get turned on. It's really different. For us, it's entirely mental. Sex for us, unless there's exceptions. Of course, there's always exceptions. There's women who have like the sexual disorders where they're always horny, like they're just born with too much hormone, and then they're always horny. There's some women who are that way. They're sex addicts, but that's rare. For the most part, for a woman to get wet, she has to be stimulated somehow. Now, what stimulates
Right.
us is really it's individual, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's individual what stimulates us, but a woman is not going to be stimulated if she's scared that that's not going to happen.
Right. That's why I was saying I don't think he's that scared. He might be in retrospect, he's scared. But in the heat of the moment, the blood has left his brain. His brain is no longer thinking. The only part of his brain that's working is the reptilian brain, the fish brain part that's making it work. The rest of his body. So,
I don't know, because remember, you got to keep into account his age. Right? Again, I'm going to argue.
Yeah.
He's too young to make that decision.
At 17, you could have a decent looking woman be in the room with you and, oh, I have an erection. Whoops, I didn't do it on purpose. Let me go try to urinate.
Yeah, which is why the mother in the situation should not take advantage of him. She's taking advantage. That the woman is clearly taking advantage. The question becomes, why does she do it? But does it really matter? The outcome is the same. It doesn't matter why she did it. The outcome is the same, and she shouldn't be doing it. Regardless of why she's doing it, she shouldn't be doing it. She shouldn't be having any kind of sex with her daughter's boyfriend.
I don't know. I got preyed upon by several older ladies when I was in my teenage years. It never bothered me.
James says that his ex-girlfriend was like that, but he and her broke up because he found out she was cheating on him.
Yeah, because that's exactly what that girl's going to think, too. You've been fucking my mom. You've been cheating on me the whole fucking time. It's over.
That, shame on that mother, though. Like, how do you do that to your own kid? How do you have sex with your own kid's boyfriend? Was she not thinking about the consequences of her actions?
Yeah, people bang their stepkids nowadays, though. Like,
that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
That's what women do.
Thank
cheat.
You, everybody.
Doctor, men cheat too. Not every woman cheats and not every man cheats, but there's people out there who are cheaters, whether they're male or female. There's a lot of people who are loyal, but there's a lot of cheaters. Doctor's terrible. Doctor, that is not true. Men cheat too. Men cheat a lot.
Oh yeah. But girls fuck like boys. Like how guys are supposed to run around and fuck. Well, that's basically how girls do it anyway.
Well, these days, maybe. Maybe not in back in the day. Thank you for the favor, Midnight. Thank you.
That's why I've been single since 20 million years ago.
I can understand that. For a long time, I used to think that women were dainty. But after being around other women, I realized that women are not dainty. I used to think that they were. I used to think that women were conservative when it comes to sex and that they picked wisely who they were going to be sexual with. But it turns out that, it really depends on your upbringing, Like if you're like, I don't know, like if you're raised to appreciate your body and understand that your body is your temple, you probably won't give into sex before marriage. But for the most part, God, the things that I've seen, I don't know. Like, there's women that I know that when I look at them in their relationships, I wonder if they were honest with their partners about how sexual they were in their lives. Like, the men who are with them now, do they understand that this person was very promiscuous?
Well, that's why little girls need their dads and little boys need their moms.
Well, doctor says, I agree with you, Nahanto, on that. Absolutely. You need to have both parents in your life giving you good morals. It's not just having both parents. They have to give you good morals. I 100% agree with you, Nihanto. Doctor says you learn to cheat too. Well, to be fair, doctor, in my past relationships, when I strayed out of a relationship, I was honest with my partners. I never really just went out there behind their back and did anything. Like when I was with the Haitian guy and I was tired of his cheating, I literally sat down with him and said, we are no longer exclusive. We are no longer exclusive. And he didn't believe me. But I was honest with him. I told him I wasn't. Like, I explained to him that I'm tired of him going behind my back and having this random sex all the time. So I explained to him that because emotionally I can't detach myself from him, I'm still going to be sexual with him. We just have to use protection, and he has to understand that we're not exclusive anymore. And I let him know what it was. Now, he didn't believe me. He honestly thought that I was just saying that because I just want him to feel something because he was always cheating. But I don't know why anybody would assume that. Like, if I'm telling you we're not exclusive, it's because we're not. And I was very honest about the situation. The lover that I had, I was honest about the situation. I basically explained, listen, I am going to be involved with you, but the fact of the matter is that for whatever reason, I cannot leave this man. There's something that keeps me coming back to him. So the fact of the matter is I will be coming back to him, and, you know, I'll be with him, I'll be with you. Like, I let them know what the deal was. And also that was my poly partner. So, you know, it was with the understanding that he had his 2 other wives as well. So that happened for like 2 years. That little roundabout went on for 2 years before I just decided that it's best that I just leave altogether, because it's just not a healthy environment. You know, you really should just be with one person. So I wouldn't consider that cheating, considering the fact that I was very open and honest about the situation.
It wasn't because you were open about it to start with. You were like, look, you've been running around doing whatever you're going to do, so we're not exclusive. I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
And too bad about that. What are you going to do? Get pissed off? Well, you're the one who started it.
Well, he did, actually. He did. Like, when he found out who it was, because I wasn't going to tell him. It's none of his business. You out there creeping behind me. You didn't tell me what you were doing, right? So, and I gave him the option. So I was like, listen, I know that you're going to keep on doing this. And I love you so much that I'm willing to let you have up to 2 other women that you can go to whenever you want to. I just got to meet them and be comfortable with them. And he didn't want to do it. So it just was what it was. Like, emotionally, because I was so tied to him, I had to wean myself out of that relationship somehow. And that's how I did it. Now, the partner before that one, I had a separation with him, but that was a little more complicated situation. The partner before that one, I told him that we needed to separate, and I wanted to date, and I needed to have that freedom from him to decide whether or not I wanted to really work out this relationship, because I was getting tired of him. I was young. I think I was like 26 when this happened, and he didn't want to go. And I said, listen to me, you're not understanding what I'm telling you. I am getting tired of you. I cannot deal with this relationship with you anymore, and I need space from you. So you have to understand that if you choose not to leave my house, I'm going to do what I want anyway. And he said, no, I'm not leaving. And I said, okay, I'm giving you the option. So he says, if you, he didn't want to leave my house. Yeah, he was living with me. And he had a place to go. He just didn't want to leave. So I basically said, listen, I'm going to do what I want anyway. And he said, if I want him to get out of my house, he needs to take me to court because he's not leaving. I was like, okay, it's your decision, but I'm telling you now, I am going to be dating. What happened, Hanto?
I was going to say that's usually a pretty good way to get rid of somebody, is literally fuck someone else in your bed.
Well, I never brought that person to my house. That never happened. I never brought that person to my house.
God, you're so nice. You're
no.
Like, exceeding or not. Like,
no. Well, we did date. Like, we dated. He wasn't a bad guy. He was decent.
House,
no, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't do that. Even though it was my house, I wouldn't do that. So he refused to go. And I dated that guy for a year, and then I came back. That's when he got me pregnant. That's my second partner. He got me pregnant because I broke up with him. The first partner that got me pregnant for the same reason, because I broke up with him. But the reason why I left the guy I was dating is because he was pressuring me to have a baby, and it's like, I don't want to have a baby. Stop asking me for a kid. We were dating 6 months, and he started asking me for a baby. He was 35. I was 26. He was 35. And he was like, I want a kid. I said, listen to me, okay? I understand that you're 35 years old, but I'm 26 and I already have a child. I do not want to have another child and end up a single mother again. So if we're going to have a baby, it has to be done right. I want to get married and I want us to wait. And he says, no. He says, I have to give him a kid And then he tells me that in 3 months after having the baby, he expects me to go back to work. And I'm just like, are you insane? If you want me to have a child with you, I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife. That's the condition. That's what you want? I have to be a stay-at-home wife. He said, no, you're not going to be a stay-at-home wife. I said, then why would I give you a kid? Why would I agree to this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So he says, well, he's 35, and I have to understand he's 35. And I'm just like, no, I don't. I don't have to understand anything. I don't have to understand anything. This is my body, and I decide if I want a child. I don't want to have a child. I'm telling you I don't want to have a child. So we couldn't agree on that. We couldn't agree. He wanted a baby. And then he wants a baby with these terms? No. If you want me to have your kid, I want to be a stay-at-home wife. I want to stay at home with my baby. I don't want to be working and not be with my child. But he made so much money. Okay, this guy made really good money. Okay, he was an Italian dude who lived in Long Island. He worked as an officer. He made really good money. But he still wanted me to be a working mom. I was already a working mom. I didn't want to have another baby and be a working mom again. If I had another baby, I wanted to be a stay-at-home wife. He didn't want to let me. So I'm like, no, we can't do this.
The kid to start going to school.
No, in his mind, when the baby's 3 months, he wants me to put the baby in daycare, and then I have to work again. So I already had a career. He was asking me to jeopardize the career by having another kid, because in order to have a child, I'm a high-risk pregnancy. That would have meant that I had to take time off of work to have bed rest. No, why would I do that for you when we just started dating? So it's 6 months in, he's begging for this kid. And, you know, I was scared he was going to pop the condom and get me pregnant. So after a year, I was just like, you know what? I can't do this with you anymore. I just can't. You keep on pressuring me for a child. And all I want to do is just enjoy you, get to know you as my partner, like experience you as a partner before making this decision. And he didn't want to understand. So I went back to my house with the ex who was still living there because he refused to leave. Like, he literally stood in my house for that whole entire year. I was dating somebody else. Like, this is how it went. It got to a point that I wasn't in my house anymore. My daughter and I used to stay in the other guy's house. All I did was pay the bills there. He was living there rent-free, everything for that year. I came back and forth, but I wasn't really sleeping there. And finally, I just came back because it's just like, you know what? I can't deal with this Italian dude anymore, pressuring me for a kid. And then when I got back, that's when he ended up getting me pregnant. So it was drunken sex. It was consensual. It was consensual drunken sex.
Yeah. If somebody was living in my damn house like that, I think I would have waited until, I mean, I'm a guy, so if it was a dude, I'd have probably punched him in his face and threw him in the hole of water and then everything else that he owned.
Yeah, but in New York, it's not like that. In New York is very liberal. Like, New York protects tenants majorly. Like, if someone's living with you and they don't want to pay their rent, no.
It wasn't a tenant, though. That was your place.
Yeah, they have squatters' rights.
Fuck.
That's how it is in New York. They have squatters' rights. So I wanted him out, but in order to get him out, I literally was going to have to take him to court. I couldn't make him physically leave. I had to take him to court. It would have been a process, and he knew I wasn't going to do that. So whatever. I mean, he has animosity towards me to this day about that situation. But it's like, how do you have animosity towards me when I made it very clear to you that I'm not dating you anymore. I'm dating somebody else. And he made the decision to still stay. Now, we ended up working it out because he ended up getting me pregnant. The only reason why I worked out that relationship with him is because he got me pregnant. That's the only reason. Because I thought, oh God, me getting pregnant with my son, I was happy, but at the same time, I was shaking my goddamn head. I was like, God damn it. I might as well have just gotten pregnant by this cop. That's what I was thinking. Because at least my kid had a chance to have a father who's going to provide, you know? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, God damn it, this motherfucker caught me. Like, fuck, he caught me, man. Like, fuck, he fucking got me, man. Like, that's what I was thinking. This fucking guy got me. But then I was just so happy, you know, to have my son. So I knew, like, I was just like, great. Now I got fucking 3 kids, you know, instead of 2. I've got 3 kids now, you know. That's what I was thinking in that situation. Now I've got 3 children to take care of instead of 2 children to take care of. So in the end, the Italian cop, right, he tried to work it out with me. And then when he found out that I was pregnant, he hated my guts. It's not like I intentionally got pregnant. Oh, let me reset it, Nihanto. The thing is not working. Try again. Maybe the signal's bad. Oh, I just realized I'm not even charging this thing.
Yeah, shit, my phone's already at 60%.
Yeah, with this app, you gotta always have everything charging because if you don't charge it, then it dies. It kills the battery.
Yeah, even when it is charging, it
It
still
still kills the
dies.
battery. Yeah.
Power than it gives.
But yeah, so when that pregnancy occurred, when that pregnancy occurred, I was happy to have my son. I really was. Like it's so hard to describe. Like instantaneously, I was so happy to have my baby in me, but I was so simultaneously miserable because of who got me pregnant. Like I'm just looking at, and okay, my son's father, he won't admit this, but my son's father took advantage, right? Because after I got into a fight with the Italian dude, and I came back home, me and him went out, and I was very intoxicated, and he took advantage of me being intoxicated. Now, the only reason why I don't really consider it like really taking advantage is because I know for sure I had consensual sex with him. It was consensual, despite the fact that I was drunk, because it was a rebound. That's what it was, a fucking rebound. It was a rebound.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I rebounded back to him, and it was only meant to be temporary because I had no intention of working a relationship out with him, and he knew that, so he got me pregnant. And he's gonna deny that, but that's what happened.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So he got me pregnant. Oh, go on, Miha. I'm sorry.
My daughter's mom, we don't have the best relationship. She is evil, and she couldn't conceive for a long time. And then, we had a fling, and then pow, she's pregnant. And I was like, I don't believe that baby is mine, because she apparently had been with like 17 other guys. And I was just like, yeah.
Oh my god.
And it turned out to be mine. I was just like, all right, well, my daughter's my daughter.
Yankee said, ew. He said, ew. I agree with that, ew, because shame on her. Listen,
Yeah.
that I don't really get. Like, listen, the times that
I should, and that's what pisses me off.
Do you think she intentionally got pregnant by you to try to trap you?
Because I had kids already. Was proven breeder, and she had a lot of miscarriages.
People are ridiculous. You should not be having children unless you really want to be having children. They're absolutely ridiculous. Don't have kids unless you really want to have kids.
She really wanted to have a kid. So I was drunk and how?
Oh. All right, let me do not have children unless both people involved agree that this is what they want to be doing. Not just you want to have. Because, you know what, I have to recant my statement because the Haitian guy that I was with, he wanted a child. I wouldn't give him one. He went out. He got one somewhere else. He cheated on me and got another girl pregnant just so he can have a baby. That guy was so pathetic, though.
She tried moving to my house.
She moved into
She
your
was
house?
doing all this. She tried to move to my house. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? She was like, I'm going to put some of my stuff in the drawers. I was like,
Wait, after getting pregnant or before getting pregnant?
while she was trying to get pregnant.
Oh.
I was just like, you live across town over there? This is where I live? She didn't come back after that night. There was no, hey, let's sit down and talk about where we're gonna live kind of stuff. It was like, dude, we were having a fling.
See, this is why, like, you have to, when you're involved with someone, you have to put these things on the table immediately. You have to make sure they understand that this is what it is, because you might have it one way in your mind, but they have it in their mind a whole entire different scenario in their mind. It's a totally different scenario. Totally different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. And people will trap you. They will. Listen.
I think what she tried to do was trap me, and
She
move in my
succeeded.
house, get pregnant, and then she's there forever. It's just like,
Well, after you guys had a child, what did you do? Did you stay with her in a committed relationship, or did you guys live separately? James said my ex-girlfriend was wrote to the child by me, but I told her no. She wanted a child. This was before we broke up. I don't understand how people don't get it. Like, a child is not going to make anything better. The only circumstances in which you should be having a child with someone is if this is what you both want. Like, both people have to want this together. And not only do they want this together, they want it with each other. You can't have a kid just because you want a kid. Okay? You have to meet the right person for it. There's so many people out there. Go on, Nihato. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, to answer your question earlier, she left before we knew that she was pregnant.
Oh.
Because I had told her, I was like, what are you trying to do moving up? Why are you trying to move into my house? Because I wasn't about to have all that. I'm about to have these greedy, sketchy people trying to move in my house. I already had my stepson living there. And me and his mama were never even married. I just adopted him from the fucking street and was like, nope. Fuck this, you're going to school, you're going to do right, and teach you some karate, teach you some good stuff to try to wash out some of that hood, street, rap, music, bullshit, brainwashing, idiocy. So I pumped him full of
Good night, James.
metal and karate and tried to give him a code of honor.
You have to, like, when getting involved with someone, you got to really put these things on the table, and you got to let them know where your mindset is. And you got to put it on the table.
Yeah.
If you don't put it on the table, I mean, a person can argue where you didn't make me understand. So that's why it's important to put things on the table.
Absolutely.
That's why now I just don't play these games. Like, if I'm going to get involved with someone, Hanso, there's questions that have to be asked immediately.
Oh, yeah.
One of the first questions is, do you want children? Second question should be, do you want to get married? Okay?
Right.
First two questions. And this, I don't care, especially at this age, when you go on a date, these are the things you need to clarify. Do you want children?
Yeah.
Do you want to get married? Those are like the main questions to be asking. And then things like, hey, how's your temperament? Do you believe in monogamy? Do you believe in monogamy? Do you believe in polygamy?
No.
But these are the questions that have to be asked because no one asks these questions.
No.
I learned from my experience, you better ask these things. But people are gonna lie. They always lie. They always lie.
Yeah, if you want an answer, you gotta ask good questions to get the answers.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta be sneaky. Like, sometimes you have to, like, ask a question just flat out, right? But then you have to kind of have conversations with them and try to catch them in a lie to make sure they give you the right answer. Well, the honest answer, not the right answer.
Right, like I could say all day, I don't think I don't want to get married again. And then, but at the same time, I'm a hypocrite because I could be like, well, if I find the right lady and she signs a prenuptial agreement, maybe. And then it's the same thing with kids. It's like, I don't need any more kids. I got kids. But then you get caught up in the moment and you're like, yeah, I do still want more kids. So it's a catch-22. It's very hypocritical sometimes.
Well, I get it, but is that sometimes as we get older, our minds change.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think we're being hypocritical. I think that our minds change, and then it also depends on if we meet the right person.
Right. That's part of it, is the relationship the two people have, how they feel, because that'll turn everything around. It'll go from, I ain't having no more kids, motherfucker, fuck that shit, yeah, let's do it.
Well, I know that's not the case for me. Like, after having my second child, and I separated from that spouse, I kind of understood by then. it sucks that it took 2 times for it to happen, but I understood then that people, I don't want to say men, but I'm going to say people, will intentionally bring a child into the world because they're trying to trap you. Because women do it to men. So that's when I realized, well, we got to do something about this pregnancy situation. Because I knew I didn't want to get pregnant again unless I met the right person. I always knew that. I never wanted to have children without meeting the right person and being mentally prepared for that. It happened because the partners I was with impregnated me in order to try to force me to be with them, which is that's the wrong reason. No one should have a child under those circumstances. No one. Okay? You should not be having a baby because you're trying to trap a person. You shouldn't be doing that. And the thing is, people in that situation, they're not even honest with themselves about it. They don't even tell the truth to themselves to say, I did it because I'm trying to trap you. They deny it to themselves. They'll sit down and they'll say, well, no, a child is a blessing. I didn't do this to trap you. This is a blessing. We wanted this together. Speak for yourself, bro. Don't speak for me. I'll let you know if I wanted a kid with you. Okay? Just because I don't believe in abortion doesn't mean that me having your kid meant I wanted to have a child with you. It only means that I don't believe in abortion.
I don't believe in.
Doctor, I'll give you a baby. I'll give you a baby, doctor. You gotta marry me first, though. We gotta get married first and then have a baby. And you better take care of me and this kid forever. Forever. Not like, oh, I'm gonna have a baby and take care of my baby for a year and then decide I wanna have a baby with another woman. Because then I'm gonna have to chop you with a machete. Just know that.
I think she was serious, dude.
Hell yeah. If I have another kid, they better take good care of me. Doctor, I do not sleep with multiple people. Stop saying that freaking nonsense. That's not the truth. When I'm with a person, I'm monogamous. Now, in my past relationships, yes, it happened. Like, it happened with the Haitian dude. But, every situation is unique. The reason why that happened with the Haitian dude is because I wanted to leave him. And I couldn't bring myself to leave this guy. I have no explanation for it. Well, no, I do. I know why. Mentally, I was damaged. I was insecure, right? I didn't feel that I could get someone better than him. I didn't feel I deserved someone better than him, honestly. I had a lot of emotional issues, and I needed to overcome those issues before I could move on and really meet someone who's a decent person. I had a lot of insecurity. Like, I felt like if I got involved with someone who was worth something, that there was nothing I could bring to the table because I felt like I was too mentally damaged. That's why I settled for that piece of shit.
About people is the more money that people make, the worse people it really are somehow. Like, corporate people are just fucking snakes. Doesn't matter if they're men or women. Because I've worked at security at places that were pretty big places, and some of those ladies, they will walk by where I'm at, checking people and stuff, and they just get a handful of me.
A handful?
And I'll be like, and I've reported that shit and straight up called the appropriate authorities and been like, I'm a security officer, yada yada yada, just walked by and grabbed her a handful of it. And had to describe everything, and they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, dude.
They didn't do anything about it, did they?
One lady got arrested.
She did?
Yeah.
Did she go to jail for it?
She walked by and put her hands down my pants. And I was just like, yo, bitch, you need to stop, and I slammed her up against the wall. And I'm not like that with women, but wham, it's over. No way. I was married at the time too. I was like,
She just grabbed your dick?
Oh yeah. And that was after twice walking by and grabbing my ass, and I was just like, bitch, I work here. You don't need to be acting like that. She's like, I do what I want.
What was she, if you don't mind? Like, was she Spanish, white? What was she? Asian?
I don't know. She was fair skinned, more fair skinned than you, but her hair wasn't dark. So I have no idea. She's probably white. I don't know. I'd have probably liked it if it was some Asian girl or something. Some.
Yeah, but I don't. What possesses a person to think that they can just go grab somebody's fucking body like that? Whether you're a man or a woman, you can't just be grabbing onto people's bodies. You can't just do that.
She was.
That's insane. Doctor, he didn't. Mihato said he didn't do that. Mihato, doctor's terrible. Doctor says that you hit it.
Damn, doctor, the fuck is wrong with your life? Who has shit in your fucking Cheerios so often that you're just like, I'm just gonna eat these shit Cheerios and then try to shit in everybody else's Cheerios? Damn, dude. I was fucking married.
Doctor says he's not gonna be mishandled by me. Doctor, you're terrible. Listen, doctor, when are you gonna get me my ring and really officially propose to me? I do want a baby. I just, it's gotta be with the right person. I can't see myself just doing it, honestly. I just can't see myself doing it again unless it's done the right way.
Yeah.
I don't cheat. Stop your nonsense.
I don't want to end up with more child support payments and not being able to see my kid.
I don't want to be a single mother anymore. It's like I'm so fucking tired of these people having this mentality. Mihato, after having my second kid, every single person I dated tried to make me have a child with them. Every single person after that. And I just couldn't not understand it. But I mean, I get it now. Like, when they watch you how you are with your children, they say, damn, like, look at how this kid is, look at how this woman is with her children. And they're like, I would want her to have my kid because then my kid would be okay. Like, that's their way of thinking. It's a trashy way of thinking. Go on, Nihanto, I'm sorry.
I don't understand but qualify that either. Because I don't look at girls and be like, man, no. I just see more of it. I'm like, fuck child support payments. Fuck. Because sometimes I'm not the best at relationships. But I think it's because I hold people up to a certain degree of, we're actually going to do something together, and you're not going to cheat on me, and I'm definitely not going to cheat on you. Not out of fear of losing you or getting STDs or anything, just to...
Oh no, my big deal about that is I don't want to catch AIDS. Like, I'm really... The reason why I want to be in committed relationships, right? I don't want to be just sleeping around because that's one of my biggest fears. Like, I don't want to fucking catch HIV. And people argue, oh, well, people live long with AIDS. I don't give a fuck how long you can live with AIDS. I don't want to fucking live with AIDS. So I definitely don't want a partner who's going to be out there cheating.
Right. You don't need somebody that's going to be at home.
Be at home?
I worry about that too. Because I don't want to be straight and be faithful and be like, doctor, what the fuck do you mean? I got what?
Oh, no. I know for sure if I come out with an STD, my partner gave it to me because I know that I'm not going to be sleeping around. If, God forbid, I were ever to do that, which I wouldn't, I would always use protection. But people out here, they just cheat.
They're going to be calling the police on me if that situation ever comes home. They're like, oh, I've been faithful since we got together, and I got a what now? Oh, I'm going to jail today for the one thing I never thought I was going to go to jail for, because I don't hit girls. I'm about to fuck somebody up.
Nihanto, let me tell you something I saw on a subway ride one time when I was in New York City. There was I think it was like a Jamaican girl with like a African dude, right? Because the accents. So the girl is telling the man, she said, "Me don't have no fucking AIDS before you. Me don't have no fucking AIDS." That's how. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? She's she's basically saying, you gave me AIDS. You gave me AIDS. She's like, I didn't have any fucking AIDS before you, And this is on the subway. She was like, you fucking lied to me and you gave me AIDS. And he was like, This dude says, well, what are you going to do? You have it already. What are you going to do? Why would you leave me? You already have it. Why would you leave me? And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, this poor fucking female. This poor female.
Either side of that, if it was different, it was the guy. Still, I think I'd still be contemplating stabbing somebody. And I think that if I did that, I would be warranted for being stabbed.
Well,
that's not going to make it any better.
the guy tried to force her off the train, but everyone on the train helped her. Like he was trying to force her off the train, and the people on the train grabbed her and pulled her in. That poor female. Like I just felt so bad for her. I just did. So I'm not saying the guy cheated on her, Nihan. So I'm not saying that. Like, but that's another reason too. Like people fucking lie. They just lie. They'll flat out and they'll lie to you. They'll carry STDs and they'll just sit down and they'll lie.
Well, if neither one of them were tested before they got together.
Oh no. If I'm gonna get involved with anybody, we get tested first. That's a fucking rule. That's the third question you should be asking somebody when you're getting to know someone and you're dating them.
Yeah.
Oh well.
See, I go to the plasma donation center, and before the COVID hit, I was doing that. So they check for anything because they can't just give you your blood.
Yeah, they have to make sure that it's clean.
You got crazy shit going on.
Wax says they're liars. Yeah, no, that's. Listen here. So we have 3 questions you ask when you're gonna date somebody. The first question is, do you want children? The second question is, do you want to get married? The third question is, are you willing to get STD tested? That's the third question. Because believe it or not, people will fucking say no. They will say no. They talk about this. Oh, what about trust? Fucking trust? No, there's no trust when it comes to my goddamn health.
Right, yeah. Verification is key.
Oh, but people will lie.
Verification.
And you better make sure to go to the clinic. Not a clinic. Make sure you go to a doctor and you say, I want to get tested for every STD possible. And make sure they show you those goddamn results. Because people will ask them, oh, well, no. Go on,
Ian. My ex-wife, I got one of those tests at the hospital.
Oh, because people will lie. They will know that they have something and look you in the face and say, no, I'm clean. And they'll know. They could have just gotten test results saying that they're burning with something and will lie to you and say that they're clean, knowing that they're not.
I don't know how it is for a woman to get tested. The last time I got tested as a man, it was like a toothpick, like a Q-tip with a barb on the inside.
They put it inside the penis hole.
And they put that whole thing all the way down in there through the pee hole and just pull one of those real fast. And if I hadn't have been doped up and laying in bed, I would have cried like a little girl and Pat had over a dude.
Well, with women, they open up your thing. They put like this thing in there. I forget what it's called, but they stick it in there. They crank it. They open it, and then they stick stuff inside there. They move around with sticks. They might, depending on what you're asking them to test for, they might cut a piece of you out of there, depending on what you're asking for. But they do they poke a bunch of stuff in there and wipe it off, and then they do like whatever blood test they need to do. On top of that,
I was hooked up to IVs and blood and stuff, so they already had my blood, and I was already doped up because I was in there for an injury. So it's like, yeah, we'll go ahead and take care of that. And they sent the most beautiful nurse in. I was just like, oh God, fine, screw it, here. She whipped out her gloves and was like, don't worry, I'll be gentle. And I felt like I was gonna die. I think she cut my soul. If I believed in the soul, I think she cut my soul. It hurt so bad. Like, oh, that area, no.
I know, but it's better to do it than, it's better to be safe than sorry. Because people, they'll lie. They will lie to you. They will know they have an STD. They will lie. And people who have STDs, their way of thinking is, well, once you catch it, we both got it. So what's the sense in breaking up? Like, that's how they think about it. The right thing to do when you know you're burning with something is to sit down with your partner and say, hey, I have this. And
I've got anal warts from these things and people and stuff like that. You need to know about. It's like, dude, but wait, you're a guy. I'd be like, yeah, I got the anal warts. It's like, what?
Yeah, you gotta
That's
be.
a deal breaker, so they don't want to talk about that.
Well, the problem is, listen. The reality is, especially as you're getting older, the reality is that most likely a person you encounter is going to have something or have contracted something in the past. Most
And if you
people,
don't, it's a good idea to think that way.
well, yeah, that's the way you always should think. That when I get involved with someone, that's always in my mind. In my mind, I assume they've got an STD. I already assume it. It's in my mind.
That's not a bad idea.
You have to make the assumption. Now, if you're dating someone and you guys get tested together, and your partner comes out positive for something, am I gonna encourage you not to be with them? No, because the fact of the matter is, most likely, someone has something. Most likely. It doesn't have to be AIDS. It could be like, I don't know, it could be like HPV, which is very common. Most Americans have it. It could be like a form of herpes, which is extremely common. Most people have it. If they come out with something like chlamydia or gonorrhea, which they should already know before they're with you, because that's curable. But it's good to know if they have it or not, because God knows how long they had it. But something like chlamydia or gonorrhea, it is curable. This is why you should get tested with your partner. But it's also important to know their history of STDs, because there's certain things that even if it got cured, that it could come back out. Like, without them being sexual with people, it can resurface. These are things you have to know. Now, if your partner comes out with fucking HIV, I'm not saying, just don't date that person, right? Because you can use condoms, and then they do have, I forget what this called, but it's like a medication that you could take, where if your partner does have HIV, you don't catch it. I think it's called PrEP or something.
I don't know what it's called either.
I think it's called PrEP, but I'm not 100% sure. I think they call it PrEP.
Medicine that keeps the person who has the AIDS to a point where it doesn't show up on their tests.
Yeah, but they still got it. Like, it doesn't. It might control it to a point, but they didn't cure it. It's still in their blood. They can. I mean, they said I saw this like commercial that said now that if you have HIV and you take the medication, you can't give it to your partner anymore. But if you came across that, I would still encourage you to use protection with that person at all times. I don't ever encourage you not to have unprotected sex with them. I wouldn't do that. Don't have unprotected sex, point blank. But the fact of the matter is that people, when they get into their relationships, do have unprotected sex. That's just what people do. You get involved with someone, and maybe you use condoms for a little while, but at some point in time, you guys are banging raw. That's just what adults do. They only use condoms temporarily. But I suggest, like, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone and you're using condoms, which you should use condoms immediately, but most times people don't, use the condoms for at least a year and get tested every 3 months to make sure there's nothing going on before you have unprotected sex. If it's important to you not to contract a disease. If your partner does have something and they're honest with you, would I say get the fuck out of there? You can, but you got to be realistic. Most people are gonna have something. They are. Most people are gonna have something. It's just the reality.
Even if they don't, it's just a good idea to approach the situation like that. Like as soon as I walk out the door to go to work every day, I know that it's going to be a war zone and I could die at any minute. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm not in, a dangerous business. I'm not selling drugs. I'm not a cop. I'm not going into burning fucking houses. I just go do handyman stuff. But you could get, you gotta have the right mentality for every situation. So
yeah.
And then some of those things will cause you to die too, like the AIDS stuff. Kelly has like syphilis. I think it was syphilis that Al Capone died of. Poor bastard.
You see, because he wasn't getting himself tested for diseases. You got to get yourself tested, and you can't just be having random unprotected sex. One time, I met someone. I met someone off a Scout. He was a really nice guy. He really was. But and he thought that the reason why I didn't want to be with him was for this reason. But it really wasn't. It was just that I was still with the Haitian guy. So Um, coming to the end of the relationship with the Haitian guy, right? I started dating a lot because I was looking for someone who could make me fall in love with them so badly that I would be able to leave this guy, right? Good morning, Joe. Good morning. So I met this guy. I can't remember his name anymore. He was such a nice person. He really was. This guy had it together. Okay, he was a handsome black man, very tall, very brolic. He owned property in Brooklyn, like he owned several houses. So he was a landlord. He made really good money. He meets me off of the Scout app, right? We go on a few dates. I think on date number 3, he says, I have to tell you something. And he says, I'm really scared to tell you because I like you so much. And I'm so afraid that if I tell you this, you're not going to want to date me anymore. And I said, it's fine. I'm a very open-minded woman. Tell me what's going on. He said that he was born with HIV. And he was like, please don't not see me because of this. He was like, I'm on medication and I will always use like condoms if we're sexual like that. And he was dating some girl, whatever. He was already involved with a woman, but the woman cheated on him, so he wanted her gone. She was really crazy. She was a Puerto Rican chick too. Um, so I felt bad. Like he thought that the reason why I didn't want to be with him was because of that, and it really had nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, I was very surprised that it didn't scare me at all. Like I was, I was surprised that I didn't get turned off by it. We never had sex or anything like that. I was still with the Haitian guy. Like I was just trying to find someone that could make me want them enough that I would leave this Haitian guy. A transition person. I needed a transition person to help me mentally break away from the Haitian dude that I was with. And again, oh, I remember his name now. I do, but I'm not gonna say it. So he was with that other Puerto Rican girl, and even still after he told me, we hung out a lot. We hung out so much. Because I was more like a friend to him. But again, like he thought that the only reason why I wanted to be a friend is because he was honest about his situation and it had nothing to do with that. Whether or not he was, it was always going to end the same way. It was always going to end the same way because I could not bring myself to leave the Haitian guy that I was with. I still love the fucking dude. I couldn't explain it, but I still did. So, but eventually, the girl that he was with before, the one that he left for cheating, she finds out where I live. That she was crazy. She threatened me. She was like, she made all kinds of threats to me that I better stay away from her man, even though he had broken up with her because she cheated on him. So then I tell him, I'm like, listen, this girl like found out where I live, and this is what she's doing. So he decided that he would break away from it because he didn't want to put me in danger. Because the bitch was crazy. She's like, listen here, okay, I get it. The man had money, all right. She had a made life with him. Well, all right, you had a made life with your man who's taking care of you. Why the fuck did you cheat on him, you stupid bitch? Like, why did you cheat on him? He was a great guy, very respectful, very sweet. And as a matter of fact, when that Haitian dude I was with fucking beat me and put me in the hospital, he's the one who came to get me out of that hospital. He got me out of the hospital and everything. Like, yeah. So I don't know. I think that if not for the Haitian being involved in my life, maybe I would have considered being with him. But I don't know. It took me a long time to leave that Haitian. It took 6 years to leave that guy. Well, guys, actually, at it's 7. I have a 8 o'clock meeting through Zoom, so I might end stream now and then come back after it. So I guess I'll probably be back here by like 10 a.m. Hi, Shaz Nasty. How are you? Thank you for joining my stream. Yeah, so I'll probably end stream now and come back at 10 a.m. Well, I don't. The meeting is gonna be like an hour, I think, and then I gotta go for my morning walk with the dogs. Yeah. So when I come back to stream again, it should be around 10. It may be 11. It really depends because I don't know how long the meeting is gonna last. I gotta do the meeting through Zoom. Then that's at 8. So now I gotta. It's about to be 7. I gotta shower and everything and prepare for the meeting. Meeting through Zoom. Immediately after the meeting, I'm gonna go for a 3 mile walk with the dogs. After the 3 mile walk with the dogs, then I'll come back to stream. So we're looking at anywhere between 10 and 11, and then so from 10 or 11, whichever time I come back to stream, I'll stream till 1, because then my roommate is going to be coming home from work, and we're probably going to be going to the gym to work out. All right, my darling. So I thank you so much for being with me so early in the morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll end stream temporarily for now, and I'll see you guys back in about, what is it, maybe like 3 to 4 hours. All right. Thank you, my darlings. Thank you so much. See you guys around 10 or 11 a.m. Thank you. Bye, my darlings. Let me end my streams now.